So with this awakening card, I'm hearing, is this love? This person has been thinking about your last interaction with one another, and there are a lot of soft feelings that they have, a lot of beautiful feelings that they have for you. And this is somebody who has crossed a threshold within themselves of like, I think I have fallen in love with this person. I think this might be love. I think I am experiencing mature love, or maybe even love for the first time. There's a sense of the ways in which you have responded to the polarities emotionally within this person. The days when they are feeling very high energy, very much like walking sunlight, very on top of the world. And that is something which matches, it feels like a natural frequency within you, or something that, you're very capable within yourself of kind of tuning into. And it's very high vibe experiences between the two of you. That is something that fills them with a deep sense of fulfillment. Like they really enjoy that. There's like almost like a best friend kind of vibe with that, or something where it's like it's very high energy. It's very like mutually fulfilling, or a sense where they don't feel drained after spending time with you, by trying to be somebody that they are not. Or maybe this is something where they've dealt with a lot of kind of like energy vampires, takers in the past, like people that they interact with and then they walk away and feel exhausted. This is something that is not the case with you. Like they're matching vibe for vibe. Like you both fill one another up in a very satisfying and life affirming sort of way. And at the times where this person's energy sort of dips, where they get kind of contemplative, they get sort of quiet, they go within their shell. Maybe this it's almost like somebody that may be an empath. They may be a highly sensitive person. They get very overstimulated. They get very overwhelmed. This may be somebody even on the neurodivergent spectrum, where it's kind of like they can only sort of take so much of peopling before they've peopled too much, and they need that kind of alone time to isolate and recharge. And this may be something that has negatively impacted previous romantic relationships, or maybe something that they're just starting to explore and to discover about themselves, even at those times where for whatever reason, however it factors in, maybe they even just had like a long day at work, or not such a great day at work, and they come home and they're just feeling quiet, they're just feeling sort of burnt out, they're just feeling kind of low energy. This is something that it's like almost intuitively they have noticed that you metamorphosize into like a softer version of yourself, a quiet version of yourself. You intuit this. Like they're sensing that there's this energetic bond between the two of you, that without even needing to kind of like say anything, you can just like pick up on those vibes. And it's not like, oh, let me just mirror you, let me mimic you, let me match your energy just to try and like stay relevant in your life. But they're noticing that this is something that it's like the interactions between the two of you, it is so relevant and so resonant, and it feels so right on that energetic level, that it's just like we can read one another, we get one another. You understand me without me having to even like say a word. And the times when it's right to kind of like infuse all that sort of high vibrational, that very sort of loud loving energy into the situation. And you also know when I need you to just come close and just be still with me, when what I'm wanting is just the warmth of your presence glowing softly beside me in the room, or in my own energy, if this is something where they need that alone time to recharge, that they still feel your presence there, not in a way of like being very pushy or codependent or clingy or needy, but it's almost like this person is really sensing like the bond between the two of us, which is why they're asking themselves like, is this love? Is this like what love should really be like? That even in those times where they're kind of like going about, the motions of their process of sort of filling their own cup and recharging, there's a sense of like your presence is very noted within that. And it doesn't feel intrusive. It almost just feels like cozy. It feels very comfortable. It's like this sense of belonging, like you are with them, whether it's, they are able to kind of show up and be a great participant in the connection, or the times where it's kind of like I only have the bandwidth to kind of just sit here and zone out and, decompress for my day, or think of nothing, or kind of detox from all of the overstimulation, too much energy from too many people, too many high stress situations, whatever the case may be, that there's a sense of, I know now that I will feel you there with me, that you will get that you will understand that you respect that about me, or maybe that's something that's very similar about you as well, that is helping this person to see like, this is a really good relationship. It's a really good thing that we have going on, because we have this closeness with one another, and yet something also where we are honoring one another's autonomy, one another's individuality. And it feels like they've never experienced that with another partner before. Yeah, we have intensification. So this person's feelings are deepening for you. This is something where this person is almost like, this is love with a capital L. This is something that is beyond the threshold of what I thought that I would feel for you at this point in time, or, maybe even kind of exploring sort of the nature of people that they've been with before, and sort of what was brought to the table, or what was required in terms of that loving partnership. They may not have ever been with anybody that they had like kind of an energetic bond with, or an empathic bond with before, where it was more than just the surface level interactions between two people, but it's like an energetic ebb and flow, like a slow dance, energetically speaking, to offset the times where it's just very fast paced and there's a lot of movement, a lot happening in the material world, that even within the kind of quiet spaces or quiet aspects within them, it's like you fit in so well with that. And so this is something that it's helping them to see that, like, yeah, this is the right place, this is the right person, this is the right fit for me. Not just the me that performs well, or is kind of giving a whole lot, or is really like happy, is really kind of lively, but also the me that is just kind of feeling very still, feeling very like empty, or like I need a pause. I need a period of time to kind of just sit and collect myself, or sit and kind of refill my own cup, refill my own batteries in different sorts of ways. And this is something that it's almost like they're not getting a lot of pressure from you. There's not a lot of insistence that they sort of hurry up with that process, or a lot of questioning, or things where they might have been with people previously that when they had these kind of like down times or these quiet moments, it might have been a lot of accusations like, did I say something? Did I do something? Why are you so quiet? Why are you, got your headphones on and listening to music? Why are you zoned out? Why are you just kind of like, off in the garage doing your thing? Like, whatever, like that kind of a thing. This is something though that is very different from what they've experienced, where you're just kind of like, you honor and respect this person's like personal space, their personal time, times where they just kind of need to sit and do nothing. And in these moments, there are thoughts that are drifting towards you that are like, yeah, this is the right person. This honors every aspect of me. This is what the experience of home with another person should feel like. So this is helping this person to become more comfortable with like future developments between the two of you, because this is somebody that sees like in all seasons of themselves, in all moods and atmospheres that they hold within, and all these different facets within, there's a place to align with you. We also have fulfillment. So that's that Ace of Cups energy. This is something where, again, they've not experienced something that seemed to be like a connection with a person on so many deep levels, so much like beyond the surface, so much that couldn't even be put to words or described, because it's all just in this feeling space. It's this reciprocity of energy. It's this equal give and take. And most importantly, the honoring of personal needs for the two of you to each sort of pursue fulfillment for yourselves, or peace and serenity and wellness and stability for yourselves in separate ways, so that you are able to come together and commune with one another in a more healthy, in a more self-honoring, in a more high vibrational way. This person may have a hard time as well, kind of like talking about their feelings or expressing certain like struggles that they have, or the nature of certain things that they may experience that cause them to kind of go into these periods of like, I just need to be alone, I just need to sit, I just need to contemplate things, I just need to kind of debrief or unpack what I've experienced, what I've been through. And there's a sense of almost like, energetically speaking, emotionally speaking, without even saying a word, there's like conversation occurring between the two of you, where this person, through their process of trying to like overcome pressures inside, or get back to that place of feeling like themselves again, or feeling very lifted up energetically speaking, they feel kind of this exchange between the two of you, where it's almost like you're helping this person kind of accelerate that process of recharging. You're holding space with this person energetically and within the silence, while they go through their own process of kind of moving beyond those periods where they're feeling low, or they're feeling very still, or they're feeling very overwhelmed. It's like you represent it like a safe person for them, or a safe space where they're not just having to kind of like white knuckle it, or totally shut down and go into their shell and just kind of close out the world. It's almost like they've noticed that since you've come into their life, or since your relationship has evolved to whatever stage it's at right now, that it's almost like you're walking with them through that process. And maybe it's because you have something very similar that is involved in your own kind of like energetic well-being, your own emotional well-being, your own kind of process through your day. Maybe these are things that you've mentioned to them, or just kind of like private practices that you have within yourself, or approaches or meditations, or things of that nature that have rendered your energy, or your capacity to move amongst the spectrum of your own energy in such a way, that it's kind of like you're able to walk with this person in the lows, in the valleys, as well as atop the mountain peaks and in the highs. And so this is something where they're feeling that deep sense of companionship, that deep sense of understanding that doesn't require explanation, that deep sense of like personal respect, like for them as a person. And this is something it feels like that they cherish and they really value, because they've never experienced that with another partner before. It feels like, again, this aspect of them might have been something that was like a deal breaker in other circumstances, or it might have been something that was like systematically a problem, or became a problem. Even people that would have been cool with it, or were sort of like, yeah, okay, whatever, I get it, or I don't get it, I'll just respect it. Over time, and other connections and past connections, it's like this aspect of this person always seemed to get in the way, or it always became something that they like inadvertently hurt the other person's feelings without meaning to. But with you, it's almost the sense of like something is translated that may be very hard for them to kind of like put to words, but there is this silent understanding that when they feel like themselves again, when they move through that period of like coming out of exhaustion, coming out of the lows, coming out of like a deep kind of like introspection, this person may be described almost as like brooding or moody, or they kind of like have a storminess within. They may be a very high vibrational person, but then they've got like, a darkness inside. Like we all have that. And when they go into that kind of realm, or that aspect within themselves, when they are walking within their own shadow, to come out towards you is like coming towards the light. It's like coming home. It's like coming forth and emerging with a gentleness, where there's no need to be like, sorry I was quiet, sorry I was having to kind of just, sit and sort of think about things, or, unpack the nature of what I went through today, or, sorry I was feeling a little bit off. Like, even if they kind of like, make that sort of surface level apology, it's not like they have to keep chasing you down, trying to make amends for something that is almost like nothing that they're doing wrong. It's just a component of who they are. It's part of how they kind of like self-regulate in a way. And so it's something that is providing them with a lot of encouragement to continue to pursue this relationship with you further, because there's a sense of like, we're really good with one another when times are good, and you are also someone who's able to hold it down for me, or hold space for me or have those exchanges. We're able to meet on those kind of lower levels within myself as well. Yeah, and we have grounding. So you are this person's like safe space. You are somebody that it feels like they could see themselves in time starting to move beyond this kind of essence or this experience of like having to figure things out on their own or keeping a lot bottled up. They see you as somebody that in your own way has maybe learned different things or has created like a process for yourself as far as how you deal with emotional overwhelm, how you deal with heaviness inside, how you deal with kind of like low energy or like a low mood within yourself. And this is somebody that may have even kind of like, started looking at the example that you've set when they've seen you in times like this, and it's like they're trying to apply some of that to themselves. They're trying out some of the things that you've been doing, and it's been having great results. This is also though somebody that as they are walking that kind of like process within themselves, this is just what I need to do when I'm feeling just totally drained, totally burned out, totally exhausted. It's a sense of like when they push forth beyond that, when they emerge, when they have more balance within themselves, that you are somebody who has proven to be this like non-judgmental, stable, reliable presence for them, where they feel very accepted as they are. They don't feel the need to kind of like be ashamed of this part of themselves or to fear almost kind of allowing themselves to fall even deeper in love with you out of the sense of like, well, everything's great, but then there's this aspect of me that other partners haven't liked or haven't understood. So maybe that will be a problem in this situation. It's like already proven to be something that like you're able to be understanding about that, or you can see where this person's coming from. You're able to get it because you have those qualities inside of yourself as well, or you are somebody who is so like secure within yourself that you're not expressing your kind of emotional needs to this person as if they are supposed to fulfill them all. This is definitely somebody that has like feared getting into a codependent relationship. That may have been the case in the past, and whatever has sort of like happened at this stage where they've had this time to kind of sit within their own kind of quiet energy and really explore and come to this place of like, yeah, I think this is love. I think this is like real love. They are seeing that this is the exact opposite of everything that they have experienced before, that was like toxicity, that was codependency, that was neediness. And so this is encouraging this person to tend to this relationship more thoroughly, to continue to invest in material ways and kind of planting seeds for the future, and making sure that they are doing their part to ensure that this is like a bountiful harvest emotionally and materially between the two of you moving forward. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.